welcome to the Pro Day 2 preview from Rosbifs Rugby for Carcassonne. Yes, the New Boys 2 Pro Day 2. We've tried to give as much info on all the clubs in Pro Day 2, and this is an interesting one because they are brand new. Well, not brand new, but they are the team coming up from National this season. So, a little bit unknown, and we need to prep you ahead of the new season of Pro Day 2, which you can see on FR UK Rugby. If you appreciate these videos that we've been doing, please subscribe to Rosbifs Rugby. We are trying to bring as much insight to Pro Day 2 as possible. Carcassonne, we've actually got a lot of this insight from Johnny McPhillips, the fly half, who came on our podcast last year just after kicking the clutch conversion for Carcassonne to win the National final. He pulled himself away from the ongoing celebrations to come on the podcast. We're really grateful for him. It was a brilliant interview. It's still on our podcast feed, obviously, and it's on YouTube. You can find that. But we needed a little bit of help from him. We've been to Carcassonne. It's really easy to get to from the UK, quite cheap to get to. It's a good place to go to other cities. It's very near Toulouse. It's very near Béziers. It's quite near Perpignan. It's near quite a lot of other rugby places. So you may find yourself passing through Carcassonne, in which case, if you go into the city, Cité de Lavande, the medieval city, that's the best place for wine inside the city walls. But Place Carnot is the main place in the kind of new town, as it were. Check out Bistro Vibes. Really enjoyed that there. Good little bar selection, and the barman was really friendly and he used to play for London Broncos, so that was interesting. But let's get into the side and their key. They finished third in National. They beat Chambéry in the final. Chambéry were the runaway winners of the regular season in National, but they lost out in the final to Carcassonne. Carcassonne built really nicely through the barrage. They played the barrage. They won the semi-finals. Rich has backed them to go down, straight back down. He's got them in 16th place. And I've got them just above that in 14th. But Chambéry were comfortably beaten by Aurillac in the access match. And Nice also, when they came up last year, they were down. They were relegated fairly early on and they were way off the pace. So based on that, Rich, if you listen to the podcast this week, you will know Rich thinks that the Carcassonne are really up against it to stay up this season, and it's kind of easy to see why. They're generally quite a young and exciting side that like to throw it about, but they are a little bit lightweight, and they've tried to bolster with that physicality up front. But let's get into the current squad as it is. Johnny McPhillips, still only 28. Ulster and Leicester fans will know that he has moments of genuine quality. 206 points last season and still a proper clutch kicker. We saw that in his time at Ulster and Leicester, and we obviously saw it with that final minute kick to win the National Shield, the National Championship. He's the key playmaker for them. In pre-season, he's been, they're a way better side with him on the pitch. Alongside him, Gaëtan Pichon, he said was, dug them out of some real holes last season simply on his own. Couple of really key tries in a few games. And then Sefa Naivalu, who, former Australian international, 9 caps. I kind of don't really remember that. But 12, 13, wing, huge explosive power, experience from his time at Stade Francais, but needs to keep himself on the pitch. He got 2 reds last season, which isn't very good. They do need some physicality, but they've got a couple of really good players in that pack. Romain Manchia, the unsung hero, 33-year-old, second row, captain, stalwart, 8 out of 10 every week, always bringing the physicality that you expect from someone like that. Etienne Herjon, the back rower, another experienced guy. He's their line-out caller, a big leader for them. And then we've got Lucas Doyenard, who needs a shout-out. Classy operator at outside centre. He's another one to watch out for in that exciting back line. But they've got a crop of really exciting youngsters. Both Niels Chalier, 22-year-old fly half, bit of a live wire playmaker, can play 10 or 15. Generally started at fullback or was the kind of impact player off the bench. Obviously, Johnny is the main man at 10. And then Paul Gadea, one of the other wingers, another exciting young winger, gives Carcassonne loads of attacking threat. But there's another young player that I want to call out here, and that's Pablo Petilla, 22-year-old centre. He's got quite an intriguing story. Played for Carcassonne under 18s. He moved to Bourgoin, where he made his national debut at the day before his 19th birthday. Then moved to Rouen and made his Pro Day 2 debut at 20. Impressed enough there to get snapped up by Toulon. He then didn't play a single senior game for Toulon. Had a brief loan spell at Colomiers. I saw him described somewhere, I can't remember where, but as one of the biggest flops of the season, I guess because maybe he came with a bit of hype and then never kind of played for too long. So a bit of a disappointment in that respect. In short, this guy kind of burst onto the scene with loads of hype and then has stalled for a year or two. The hope is there that by returning to where it all began for him, he will find that electric form. But one to keep an eye on for sure. Could be one that could still hit the big time in the top 14 in the future. He's still young. As I mentioned, they've kind of had they kind of are a bit lightweight, and you can see in their signings that they've tried to bolster and add experience. So Tane Takalua, best calves in world rugby, massive scrum half, but also a brilliant kind of game manager, good kicker, load of experience from his time at Newcastle, Agen, Tonga International. You know, that feels like a good signing. He was so good at Chambéry last year. They've kind of picked up the best players from National last year. So the Tamani brothers, Sitaleki Tamani and Lepeti Tamani, both big Tongans, both really good when they're at their best. We've seen Sitaleki Tamani, I think, when he was back at Claremont, was fantastic. And they've also signed Kylian Taufifenua, who is the younger brother of Romain Taufifenua and Sebastian Taufifenua. Loose head prop, 24-year-old, not much game time, but didn't get much game time at Biarritz. You'd expect him to develop and kind of develop a bit of X factor like his two brothers. They lose a couple of older heads. So the kind of 32-year-old hooker Raphael Carbeau, big leader within the group. He scored 2 tries in the final of National, including that decisive, dubious match-winning try. Pierre Aguillon retires at 38. He didn't play much over the last couple of seasons, but wealth of experience within the squad from his time at La Rochelle or in our cast. So kind of in short, where do we see them? As I mentioned, we kind of think that they've got it all to do to stay up. Feels like they belong in Pro D2. There is room for growth. They've got a chance of staying up. Can they do it? Let us know what you think. If you've got any more questions about Carcassonne, please put them in the comments and we will reply to them. Get in touch with us. Slide into our DMs at Rosbifs Rugby on any social media. And please subscribe to the channel because we would love to see you following us and know that we are bringing you loads of information that you really appreciate. Cheers.